a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. We had our first week of NFL football action. It was absolutely wild. We are here to break down the games here. I have an amazing guest here, Michael Rip. Tell them where you're from. Tell them where they can find you at. Tell them everything that's going on with you in the fantasy football world, man.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, Michael Rippey here, but this is a Dolphins show, right?
This is a Dolphin. This is an A-Chain show, always, baby.
I thought
Always.
I was told this was just strictly Dolphins for the next 2 hours, and I'm rocking. We're doing all football.
Okay. We're doing every game, baby. But I'm down to talk Dolphins for 2 hours. We can.
All right, I'll lock in with you. Yeah, that's right. You could find me across platforms, mainly on X at Michael Rippey. Pretty easy. It's right there, right next to my name. Winning fantasy football analyst, I would say. A lot of winning going on here. Winning football fan after week 1. Let's go Miami. But yeah, glad to be here. And if you missed week 1, the morning after, this morning I host the morning after football every Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Sleaze, you're coming on for week 2.
I watched the whole episode this morning, man. I was there the whole time. I liked it. Solid.
It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to have you. And so stoked to do this.
Are you streaming as well right now?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, the link to stream here. So if you guys wanted to check out Michael Rip or Disco, who just joined as well, I have all their links in the description below as well.
Hold on. I was told there could only be one winning AFC East fan on this show today. And
oh my God.
I don't know what's going on because, the Patriots are not supposed to win, and now we have 2. And all right.
The Patriots with the big upset. Disco, what's up, my man? Welcome in. Let me hear it. Let me hear the Patriots roar, man. Let it out.
I fucking called it.
Dude.
I fucking called it. That's what happened.
Hi, how we doing, AMG? What's up, Jerry? Welcome in, guys. What's good, everybody? How was everyone's week 1 of fantasy football? So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at each game here. So I'm going to start off with the Chiefs and the Ravens game. And I want to break down if you like anything to buy or anything to sell or any, trades for the team and how the games went. So I'll start off with the first one here. I would say that this was a defensive top 10 battle game here. What I found out from this game is that Justice Hill, and Disco nailed it, is going to be more involved than people thought. I firmly believe now that Rashee Rice is the wide receiver 1, even if Hollywood Brown comes back. And I'm honestly thinking that I don't know if it was the game script of the game of the Chiefs took Mark Andrews away and the Ravens took Travis Kelce away, because that's what it looked like. I think I'm on the buy low on both of them right now if I can. I think Isaiah Likely's still going to hold his own. I think he's going to be out there a lot. Zay Flowers is a guy I'm targeting as well because he saw massive volume and did nothing with it because the passes were 1 yard. I'm still worried about Lamar Jackson and the way he passes the football. I have been since day 1. But I think both these teams are going to be playoff teams, and those are the players that I would be interested in buying. What are your guys' thoughts on who you like to buy or sell from this game, or what you want to trade for, or anything I missed on the Ravens-Chiefs game here? Take it away, Rip.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. So you did a really good job of breaking down a couple of things that I think are very obvious. One being Rashee Rice, wide receiver 1 on the Chiefs, and wide receiver 1 in fantasy football, if you're putting your roster together. But more importantly, I think you missed the key is that Xavier Worthy showed himself to be a competent player that even if Hollywood Brown is back, I think Xavier Worthy is going to have a huge role in this offense. I do think you're right on Travis Kelce would be a buy low. If someone wants to sell him, they bracketed him. He's going to have his big days and still one of the top tight ends in football. And then conversely on the Ravens, there's obviously Isaiah Likely. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that Isaiah Likely is going to do this every week because obviously he's not. But I think that it was very obvious to me, and this is last season, that Isaiah Likely, when he's on the field, he's elite. He's an elite athlete at the tight end position. And if it wasn't for being on the Ravens and Mark Andrews, I think Likely already would have been exposed to most drafters, most players, and most fans, because this guy is one of the big up-and-coming stars at the tight end position. And so if you have a chance to get Likely, you should take advantage of it, but obviously don't expect that every week.
I like it. For Xavier Worthy, are you want to sell high because he only saw 2 touches?
I think it depends on your roster construction, right? Look, Xavier Worthy is obviously the type of player that's going to be more boom bust, I think, right? But he has that potential to put, high-end scores up every few weeks. It's the type of player where if you're in a 3 wide receiver league or a deeper league, I'd be okay starting him. If you're playing 2 wide receivers and a shorter bench, he's going to be tough because he's going to hit that boom or bust. But in those deeper leagues where you need 3 wide receivers, ultimate more flexes, and you get a little deeper, I think he's a wonderful play because I think he's going to be involved and get his touches every week, and you can see what he does with the ball in his hands. Doesn't have to be.
Oh man, he looks electric.
Yeah, you can hand the ball off to him on a reverse, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone. I mean, quite honestly, I think we saw it last night too, and we'll get there in the Lions game. But Xavier Worthy is sort of, to me, a Jameson Williams clone, but in the AFC. And so, I'd love to have him. Yeah, I'd love to have him on my team.
All right, Disco, what you got? Any thoughts on this? Anything we missed here?
I mean, like, let's be real. I think we just saw Xavier Worthy at his floor. 63%, 63% snap share, 34 total snaps. We saw him touch the ball twice. Obviously, he's not going to score a touchdown every single time, but like, we're not looking at this guy correctly. We're looking at this guy like he's, still a rookie, still unproven. What we've seen is he's absolutely spectacular and absolutely proven when the ball comes to him. He was targeted 3 times. He had 1 rush. He scored 2 touchdowns against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Takeaway is, like, sure, don't overreact. Don't trade, the entire farm for him. But, like, this kid's going to be special. This kid's going to be absolutely spectacular. I do agree. When it comes to volume, especially PPR format, Rashee Rice is king. Obviously, like you guys mentioned earlier, Travis Kelce was bracketed. He played 89% of the snaps, so 48 total snaps. Didn't see a lot of targets. All those targets were vacated and went over to my guy Rashee Rice. And I will say my biggest takeaway for the Chiefs is I was rather encouraged by not just the utilization and the snap share for Juju Smith-Schuster, because I thought he was completely dead and useless. I was encouraged by the type of targets that he was receiving. Right now, if you are in like a 14, 60 man deeper league, those are the only areas where I'm like, okay, well, this guy may be valuable, because God forbid anything happens to Rashee Rice, anything happens to Xavier Worthy, he already knows the system, he already knows Andy Reid, he already knows the scheme, he already knows Patrick Mahomes. He fits in. Like, what it comes down to is him getting the reps. I think down the stretch, should anything happen to those guys as a contingency, he might be worth a stash. Am I going to waste any waiver wire money on him? Absolutely not. Not spending any fab on him. As for the Justice Hill situation, you just got to look at their matchup, right? Like, who are they playing next week? Who's Baltimore playing next week?
They are playing. I just tweeted it too. Tough matchup for
Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh yeah, dude, Zamir White is on my sit 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily say Zamir White is on my sit. We did say, like, when we projected him that, it's going to be a 5 to 7 week ramp up for him, and then he's going to take over and absolutely dominate. So week 1 went exactly how we thought it would. But yeah, I think this is a sit Justice Hill week situation with the Raiders, because the Raiders' defense is not great. The only situation and scenarios that you want to kind of like play Justice Hill as a flex option is when there are formidable front sevens that are good against the run. If we see second and short, third and short, Derrick Henry's going to be on the field. So, I mean, we're not going to see a lot of second and long and third and long against the Raiders. So Derrick Henry's going to be on the field. Justice Hill's not going to be on the field. It's very easy to project Justice Hill. We know exactly how he's going to get utilization. So Justice Hill is a sit this upcoming week. But if he's coming against a formidable front seven, but like other than that, I mean, Isaiah Likely did exactly what I thought he would. I think we saw him at his ceiling.
He looked good.
Yeah, I think we saw him at his ceiling, but like we haven't seen his floor yet, which is why I'm so bullish on him.
What would your guys' fab be for Likely that you would drop? I'm saying 30%.
Okay, but realistically, say it's a $100 fab. You think $30 is going to get Isaiah Likely just because, like how much do you value him? Because
I value the running backs down the depth more than I would for a tight end.
Okay, so in any so like what kind of league are we talking about? 10 man, 12 man,
12 plus always. 12 plus.
12,
I never
12
talk
plus.
about 10 man really.
Dobbins isn't going to be available. What other running back that's on the waiver wire is going to be worth a pickup? Jeff Wilson, because Devon
No.
is hurting.
Disco, you got it right finally. Come on.
Maybe maybe Bucky Irving. He's on a couple wires in 12 mans.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but Bucky Irving is available, and let's take a quick look.
Yeah, I would say Bucky Irving for sure, right off the top of my head. If you're thinking, look, I looked through the depth charts, and it doesn't look good at running back right now for who you might be able to pick up. I mean, to be honest, and you mentioned Zamir White, the reality is that if Alexander Madison's out there, that's someone you have to consider. If you heard what Coach Antonio Pierce said today in the press conference, it was essentially that they're going to ride, who's ever the hot hand, and they rode Alexander Madison, who was the hot hand in week 1 for them. And so, quite frankly, right now, I think Madison is probably the guy I'd want if I had to have it either. I don't really want exposure to the Raiders, but that would be a running back on the waiver wire. I know this question's around likely in the percentage of fab. It depends your roster, but I hate to spend all my fab early.
Right. That's what I was saying. The running back market down the stretch is way more important than a tight end.
Okay, so down the stretch right now, Bucky Irving's owned by. He's only owned by 19.4% of teams in fantasy right now. So there's definitely a lot of room for him to grow. But with that being said, how do you project his floor or his ceiling?
I project his floor at about 6-7 points, and if anything happens to Rachaad White, you're gold.
Like if anything, but like that's a contingency. I say that to say this: if you're gonna put your fab money on Bucky Irving just to stash him.
You better own Rachaad White, and you pay more. I would.
Whereas like Isaiah Likely, you put your fab on there, you know that you're going to have at least a starting tight end, let alone a viable flex play every week for the rest of the season. It's like, what kind of RB value are we really saving our fab for?
Injuries, man. You always save it for injuries.
Okay, but like, go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to add in. I think that. Ultimately, it's the amount too. I think you could spend less money in getting Bucky Irving now, which is the key. And I think his upside for the rest of the season is quite significant, quite honestly. There's no question to me that Bucky Irving could be a RB2 if he keeps up what we saw in week 1. No saying that he will. With that being said, I'm not suggesting that you should go for Bucky Irving instead of Isaiah Likely. I'm just trying to think who you might instead of. For me, I'd probably go to like $19 for Isaiah Likely if I had a complete need at tight end. And look, let's be honest. I put out
Ferguson's injury, right?
Ferguson's injured, Njoku's injured. They don't look as bad as initially thought. But here's the interesting thing, and I put a stat out about tight end specifically. Did you know that only 5 tight ends scored touchdowns in week 1, and only one of them was in your top 17 tight end ADPs, and that was Kyle Pitts, who was number 7. The other 4 guys that scored touchdowns. Obviously Likely, and then Juwan Johnson, it was Chiga Congo, and then it was Foster Moreau. These guys were not even contemplating being drafted. Point being, depending on where you're at tight end is going to play your role. If you have nobody at tight end and you want to go big on Likely, okay. If you already have a serviceable tight end, I probably am going lower on Likely. Maybe you could sneak away and get him, but you got to remember, you don't want to blow everything in week 1 when weeks 4, 5, 6 bye weeks and all the opportunities later. So it's a tough one. I'd go to like 19%.
All right, let's catch up with the chat here. I agree. I'm not going full send on him. The roll says I traded away J-Mo and a third for Mark Andrews. Man, I love that, but J-Mo looked good, bro.
He said Likely and J-Mo.
I traded Likely and J-Mo. Oh man. And a third. Dude, J-Mo might be a flex play startable weekly now. I'm scared of it. He looked damn good. I was wrong there. I did not think he would look this good. He killed it. Jason says Breece Hall over 4.5 receptions. I would say yes. I'm taking the Breece over receiving yards. I think he goes off tonight with receiving yards. Over, in my opinion, from the roll. Las Vegas. What's up, Fonzie? How we doing? You killed the prayer pops this week. Dude, disco. That's all disco, bro. Big draft energy. Over 42 points tonight. I would say yes. What do you guys think? That's like 22-20. I think they go over that. These offenses are too powerful.
Rip, go ahead, buddy, if you got an answer.
I don't, it's tough right here. I think that the 49ers offense might struggle because they haven't had any time to work together. I mean, Pearsall got shot. He's been out the whole time. Ayuk's been on contract dispute. Trent Williams was hanging out at a beach waiting for a new contract. So they really haven't had any time to gel. Not saying that they need a lot of time, but they're also going against a Jets defense that's electric. And so I wonder how that offense will look. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan, that over-under is one that I'm going to stay away from tonight just because I don't have a good feeling.
I mean, there was only like 3 games under 42, and it was all the grunge games.
Yeah, it's just these are 2 defenses that I like, both of them. And now you're talking about week 1. It could be a tight game. I could see good offense, but kind of being shut down in the red zone and therefore more field goals and therefore keeping a lower total. So I'd stay away. I don't have a right answer. I'd probably go under.
Oh, I'm taking the over. Okay, what do you got, Disco?
I'm not touching it. I like exactly what Rip said, but not for the fact that I'm worried about San Francisco. I think San Francisco, like, they could piece it together. They've been together. That core unit, including Trent Williams, they've been together long enough to still put up points despite whatever defense they're facing. Yes, I'm not going to take away from the Jets. Their defense is absolutely spectacular. Speaking of spectacular, Jordan Mason's prop on drafters right now is 11.5 rushing yards.
That's a smash.
I fucking like that a lot. But with that being said, I think it's tougher to project. And like, that's why I don't like touching this game. It's tougher to project because like we haven't seen Aaron Rodgers behind that new reformatted Jets offensive line with all his weapons. We saw 5 snaps, 4 offensive snaps, and then his Achilles. Like we saw 5 snaps total. So we cannot project. There are no numbers. I mean, it's all theory at this point. So like, really, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'd just rather not touch because, it's I call that gambling, right? If you don't know it, don't fucking do it. Simple.
Okay, I like it. Question from Rick. What's up, gentlemen? Good afternoon. 5:40 here in Chicago, waiting for the 49ers game. Are we ready for football? Did you order your buffalo wings and pizza? You're goddamn right. We're having I'm actually going over to the mom's house. I don't see the mom that much. We're doing the Niner game over there tonight with like steaks and everything. I'm excited. Jason says, I have the number 1 waiver. Anyone you recommend? Is it fab or is it regular, Jason? Because if it's regular and it's a 10-man, I'm going JK. If it's not, I'm going likely. I live in Chicago. Don't even think of it. I'm not a Bears fan. I never will. I'm a diehard 49er. Let's go. I wish I had my 49er alert, but I'm on StreamYard. Just because doesn't mean I'm barefoot. My guy, what to do with Njoku? Man, dude, Disco was on the other side. Deshaun Watson looked terrible, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked absolutely terrible.
I mean, like, if you got an IR spot, put him on the IR spot and pick up Jordan Akins because Jordan Akins saw just as many targets, and he actually has rapport and history with Deshaun Watson, so it's not a bad pickup.
From the Texans days?
Yeah.
Likely and JK are gone. I would say Wan'Dale Robinson if it's full point PPR. And by the way, that call, Disco, may be coming to fruition that Wan'Dale Robinson is going to out-target Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, just shit. Like, even a broken clock is right twice a day. No, it's a good call. It's a good call.
Okay. Let's head into game 2 here. I'll let Rip take this one away because I led the first one off, and then we'll go the same way. We're going to go to the Packers-Eagles Friday night football game.
Look, what's to say other than we saw Saquon Barkley just dominate, right? I mean, this was a weird game to watch. I felt like from a TV standpoint, I couldn't feel the environment. It felt like an odd type of game that I watched, even though it seemed like, I guess, the atmosphere in the crowd was good, but on TV, it didn't come across the same way. I thought that, obviously I've got a big call this year on Dontavian Wicks for the Packers. He was a no-show. I mean, he had a couple opportunities in week 1 that didn't work out, whether it was because of he did draw a pass interference call, and he did also slip. I think the talent is there, but now it's a question of what's going to happen with Green Bay because obviously Jordan Love is hurt. How long he's hurt is a big question. We have Malik Willis, it looks like. I think that knocks down sort of everybody. Maybe that gets Josh Jacobs a little bit more run. He's going to get the volume, so I like Jacobs regardless, just on the volume alone. But the whole show was about Saquon Barkley. I mean, we saw awesome Saquon, and I don't think there's any reason we won't continue to see Saquon be a hell of a running back if he stays healthy in this offense all season. Now, obviously, he's not scoring 3 touchdowns every week, but the way that he ran, the way that he looked as a football player in that system, is going to be awesome all season long. So Saquon is the guy for me that I come away thinking, man, he's really good.
Any sell high on Jaden Reed idea or no?
Yeah, I mean, look, Jaden Reed was the best wide receiver of the week. He was awesome. Is someone going to pay you what it's worth to sell him? Because if you can, I'd do that. If I could sell any of the Packers just because it's such a dart throw each week, I would. But I can't imagine someone would give you that much for Jaden Reed. But if you could, he's an absolute sell high target, depending on your needs for your own roster. I would sell high. I'd also be okay keeping him because you probably didn't keep Jaden Reed as like a starting player, or he's maybe a flex player on a roster where you drafted him. So it's all about roster construction. He's a guy I would sell high. Still like the player, but I can't imagine he's going to be consistent. And now he has to deal with a new quarterback.
Especially with Jordan Love being down, it's going to be hard to sell him. But
yeah, exactly.
Disco, what are your thoughts on this game? What do you got?
I mean, like for the Jaden Reed point, I wouldn't sell him just yet because he's got the Colts, and the Colts secondary is absolutely fucking atrocious. But
is Malik going to get him the ball?
I mean, like he should. God bless me. All right. With that being said, I think something that we're not necessarily considering is when we're looking at the check down situation for Green Bay, Tucker Kraft looked like he was an absolute smash as a check down option. Luke Musgrave was irrelevant, and I believe Luke Musgrave will continue to be irrelevant. Tucker Kraft should be a waiver wire pickup. You should go and I don't think he's going to cost you anything because like the target share, the opportunity, that's going to just amplify significantly with, a panicked, terrible quarterback who can't really feed any. Is that a vitamin water, buddy?
No. This is product placement. This is Snapple.
Oh, fuck. That's terrible.
Product placement, baby. Snapple. I need a deal, so hurry up.
But yeah, I think Tucker Kraft is a very viable pickup on the waiver wire. Malik Willis, unless you're in a super flex and Jordan Love is the quarterback, or you have Bryce Young and you just want to take a gamble on another shit quarterback, by all means go for it. But other than that, like biggest takeaway is I think Josh Jacobs is going to be electric and spectacular this year. I think he's going to be relied upon, and this is why they brought him in for situations like this. So I think especially against the Colts, we just saw what Mixon did.
Mixon just shredded them.
I think whatever the opportunities, whatever the carries, I'll take the over for Josh Jacobs. Definitely an anytime touchdown candidate. Definitely RB1 coming into this week. He just has such a spectacular matchup, and the team needs him. Like if we were to fast forward to the end of the year and or end of the football year, and like we're watching a football life, and it's like this is why they brought Josh Jacobs in for situations like this. Jordan Love left for 4 to 6 weeks with an MCL sprain, and Josh Jacobs just took over. This is what he's there for. So Josh Jacobs was smashed. I think people are really, really discounting what he can do and what he did during that game and what he's about to do. So I think, even though it's a little bit early, he's my number one buy low candidate.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that breakdown. What I would take away from the game is that Christian Watson is not the wide receiver that people thought. Yes, he got the red zone targets, but no, he did not get a deep ball. He did not get open like we thought. And it was a plus matchup versus the very, very young Eagles secondary. And I think he's a boomer bust candidate every single week after that matchup just shows you. I would also say, take away from it, that the one thing that I liked the most was Devontae Smith playing in the goddamn slot for 71% of the snaps. He is going to eat this season. He didn't find the end zone. He didn't find, 20-plus point game. He had an average game right on cue with this projection. But Devontae Smith is one guy I am going after heavy after that game. Catching up with chat here now. Noack says, should I trade CMC, Zeke, and Jaden Reed for Bijan and Marvin Harrison? CMC, Zeke, and Jaden Reed for – yes, I think I would. Bijan looked good, bro. We haven't seen CMC yet. The risks are there. What would you guys do? What would you guys do there? Would you take that?
Trade away CMC, Zeke, and Jaden Reed for Bijan and Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah.
I think you're giving up way too many points. Should CMC be healthy, he's spectacular. Marvin Harrison Jr., his situation's absolutely catastrophic. I'm not taking that trade.
One game. Oh, I don't
What?
let one game affect me. It looks like a 10-man league, though, right?
But like like at the end of the day, this could be a 12 or 14-man league. Honestly,
Well, you're gonna get Marvin Harrison's volume that is gonna be more than Jaden Reed, especially for the next 4 weeks without Love. Zeke fell into the end zone. Yeah, the running back was terrible for the Cowboys. It looked awful between all of them. And CMC we don't know about, and Bijan looked like a god.
Wait,
Yeah.
time out. Hold on.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
This
Cook.
is let me decide this. You should not do this trade. If you have Christian McCaffrey, you do not trade Christian McCaffrey. And this idea that Bijan looked like a god, what am I missing? His 3.8 yards per carry is
he played against one of the number one defenses. Come on, relax. Give it a second.
He did. I agree. I love that Steelers defense. But when did 18 for 68 and 5 catches for 43 yards become godlike? What are we playing? Are we playing to win, or are we just playing to show up? Oh, he looked good in the outfit, or did he produce? This is my whole thing, and this has been my thing about. No, I mean, look, anybody that spent a first-round pick on Bijan in week 1, okay. I don't think you're really thrilled. You're not winning your matchups because Bijan Robinson. And I'm not hating on the guy because I think he's got a load of talent. I just think that this has been a constant thing since he's come into the NFL. He's been anointed as the greatest player. We have not seen it. We didn't see it last season. It was Arthur Smith's fault.
He played 90% of the snaps.
That's right. Week 1, we didn't see it again. I'm not saying Bijan's not great, but we're talking about Christian McCaffrey here. We've seen it with Christian McCaffrey. We've seen it for a long time. This is an absolutely terrible trade to make if you give up McCaffrey and Jaden Reed and Zeke, because guess what? Zeke is also the RB1 in Dallas. You could say whatever you want about him. He fell into the end zone, this, and that. He was the best player in Dallas from a running back standpoint. I'm not giving up all that for Bijan and Marvin Harrison. And I love Marvin Harrison, but he no-showed game 1. Like, that trade is not happening. I'm not even doing that trade.
He was also standing wide open in the end zone, and Kyler missed him.
I agree. I'm pro Marvin Harrison. I'd like him. I'm just saying we got to be honest about what we saw. This trade alone, you don't want to give up the best player in the trade, and Christian McCaffrey, as currently stated, is the best player.
Okay. All right, fine. You guys talked me into a no there. I would take that because I like the volume of Marvin Harrison better than Jaden Reed.
Bijan Robinson, his schedule, especially like running for the next until week 6, is pretty bad.
He has the easiest schedule in football for running back ranks.
As I said, I don't know if you were listening.
6, I heard you.
Until week 6, he has
Disco's cooking right now.
He has the worst running back schedule until week 6.
He's going to play at Philadelphia this week. Then he plays Kansas City. You're going to trade CMC to take Bijan for the next 2. There's crazy talk on this show right now.
Okay.
And then the Saints. The Saints defense is no slouch. And then Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's rush defense is all right. Like, even though Brian Robinson found the end zone, that's just because Jaden Daniels wasn't throwing. And, like, he still only put up 40 yards rushing. So, like, it's going to be
Brian
tough.
Robinson looked good.
Brian Robinson looked good for 40 yards. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But, like, that entire situation was dire. And once again, not until week 6 is Bijan Robinson, worth that kind of trade and that kind of value. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., once again, like, I think the talent was there. I think he was electric and spectacular in college, but you're giving up, no production for somebody who was anointed, you know what I mean? For somebody who has produced and continues to produce.
And let's be honest, ultimately here, the key is this. In most trades, you don't want to be the guy giving up the best player. McCaffrey's the best player here. So forget the rest of the parts. Stick with McCaffrey. I get it. You run your teams, not telling anyone else what to do, but you're going to have more success winning when you try to keep the best players, not trade them away.
All right. I'll join in. That's fine. I would think about it, man. I would think about it. Jason says Mahomes, Barkley, A-Kane, St. Brown, Cup, Dell, Kels, Aaron Jones, Bears D, 10-team PPR, got the week 1 dub. No one really on the bench. Trade thoughts, or I'm okay for now. St. Brown. St. Brown was killer, but you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but
look at this team.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Historically, St. Brown is a 3-week ramp up, just like Evan Ingram, just like a couple other players. So I'm not panicking on Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's another buy low candidate easily.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna fucking trade. I've been trying, dude. I can't get him. He's first round pick.
I mean,
If
shit.
you're playing a competitive league, they're not.
I'll sell low. I'll sell low in our dynasty.
You'll sell him?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay. Stafford is one of my smash week plays week 2. What's up, Bandit? How we doing, Phonesy? We will get to the player picks after Andrew Sleaze. It seems like there's an ouchie to Puka Nakua's knee. He looks like he's on IR for 4 weeks, man. It's going to be the Cup show. And they're saying that it's not even going to be Jordan Whittington. It's going to be
DeMarcus Robinson. DeMarcus Robinson's the guy here. Come on.
I think so. I think so.
DeMarcus, I said this. Look, I said this coming into the season. If there was an injury to Puka or Cooper, DeMarcus Robinson immediately would elevate into a viable option. And here we are. DeMarcus made some plays yesterday. The younger guys look pretty good too, actually. I mean, they look like they have some players, but I think DeMarcus is the guy I would want to get off of waivers if I could.
I'm interested in Parkinson too. He played 90% of snaps, man. He was out there a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're headed down to game 3 here. This is a rough one, man. Steelers, Falcons. I'm gonna let Disco take it away here.
I mean, not much to see. Ray McLeod leading the team in receptions and receiving yards.
Ray Bandit.
If you guys had that on your bingo card, fucking headbutt a wall.
Wait, it wasn't Bijan the God?
Well, was it?
Bijan had
I thought I was told that Bijan was a God.
Okay, well, let's talk about the receiver and the receivers only. Drake London, absolute bust. Darnell Mooney, fucking useless. On a blown coverage, Kyle Pitts found the end zone, but other than being touchdown dependent, as per usual, he was.
Well, Kyle Pitts had a 40-yard catch called back on holding too. That was bullshit.
Yeah, so make believe land. Okay, so with that being said, like it was really ugly to see. I don't know if Atlanta is bad offensively, like if they still have a lot of work to do, or if the Pittsburgh defense is that electric and that spectacular. They were really good, and like JJ Watt was just unstoppable. He beat that right tackle like a drum. It was a sight to behold. It was absolutely insane. With that being said, I'm looking at the week 2 matchups, and doesn't necessarily look much better for Atlanta.
Eagles, Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, like they're going to need to pass the ball. They're going to need to pass the ball quite a bit because. Jordan Davis, that guy that killed his buddies in the car accident, those guys are 2 great defensive tackles. What was that guy's name? That defensive tackle's name? On Philly.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah, there's Jordan Davis, the big fella. Then there's the other guy. He's really good. Anyways, yeah, I can't remember his name. But anyways, that guy, those 2 are really, really good players. Devin White might be healthy, so the running game is probably going to have a little bit
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. So running game is going to have a little bit of difficulty. I'm looking at the Steelers game, and they have a delicious opportunity against a really, really terrible Denver Broncos defense. I think Pickens is probably going to get shadowed by
Porter.
Huh?
Porter Jr.
No, by Patrick Surtain.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I think Pickens also was shadowed by AJ Terrell, and he proved that he was matchup proof. We'll see if Surtain's like that much better.
He just shut down DK like it was nothing, bro.
He did. But like Pickens may be matchup proof. What it comes down to is I think this running game is going to be absolutely electric for Pittsburgh this upcoming week. I think both Jalen Warren and Najee Harris are both startables. Najee as an RB2 and Jalen Warren as a fringe flex play, especially in PPR format. Other than that, I don't really like anybody whatsoever. Maybe Justin Fields, if Justin Fields is continuing to be the starter. But like, how cool would it be if this is the Russell Wilson comeback game? If this is the
the revenge game.
If this is the Russell Wilson revenge game, the Russell Wilson comeback game, then like, yeah, Russell Wilson's a startable player. But like that Broncos defense against a really, amazing receiving core of Seattle, they held their own. They did really, really well. It was the run game that absolutely killed them. So I'm looking for that trend to continue.
Okay, I like it. My takeaways from this game would be it's time to buy low on Drake London right now because the Eagles secondary is very weak. They're going to have to pass to win this game. I still like Pitts. He did have that pass called back. Bijan is still great. I'm not going to argue that. I want to see Fields keep this job, even though it was kind of an ugly grunge game. And you're right. I was wrong on George Pickens. I thought the Terrell would lock him up. I mean, he didn't explode, but he's electric and he's matchup proof.
I mean,
with his size and speed.
13 fantasy points in PPR format isn't bad against,
right.
A really. So he did his thing.
But I would say TJ Watt, you can give this guy Defensive Player of the Year already if he stays healthy.
Offensive Player of the Year too, man. He's sick.
Good God, that guy was a freak. So Pittsburgh defense, I think they're playable weekly is another take as well.
Yeah.
What do you got on the rip?
Man, just listening to you guys. Here's what I got. Look, the reality is, does Russell Wilson play? Because that's a big factor here. Going back to Denver, I actually thought Denver's defense is solid. They got two safeties. When's the last time a team had two safeties in a game? Well, it was a while ago. It was actually the Dolphins versus the Broncos.
They got to score points somehow.
2017, yeah, no. The offense struggled a lot. Clearly, obviously, Bo Nix's first start, it was tough to watch. But I think that Seattle defense is much better than people even know right now. Don't forget, their new coach, Mike McDonald, came from Baltimore. Coach's defense. So I'm not surprised that the Seattle defense was chaotic. It was making plays. It was tough to handle. That's going to be a good defense all season. And so I'm going to give Denver a little bit of a pass here on their offensive performance, especially because it was Bo Nix's first game. You'd like to see more, and I think we will see more. It's not going to get easier now having Pittsburgh's defense, but playing at home versus playing on the road is also a factor. I think Russell Wilson starts. I think Denver wins. And quite frankly, this idea that George Pickens is matchup proof is not going to come true this weekend because, to me, Patrick Surtain Jr. or Patrick Surtain II is a lockdown corner. We saw what he did against DK Metcalf. I had this conversation last week on the show. Everyone was telling me about DK Metcalf, this, and that. And I'm just telling Patrick Surtain II is going to do work. Now, doesn't mean Pickens can't get a ball because Pickens is the type of guy that grabs balls out of nowhere. He's an awesome athlete, and I like him. But we're also relying on Russell Wilson to get him the ball. I think it all breaks down with Russell Wilson. It's not much better with Justin Fields, although Justin Fields can run and make things all kind of wild out there. So, my thoughts are essentially we need another week here to see what teams are showing up. But, yeah, the Pittsburgh defense, electric. If you have them, you start them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is Patrick Surtain really spectacular, or has he been a beneficiary shutting down, a number one wide receiver week one with really poor quarterback play?
Oh, dude. Even the catches DK made were contested, bro. He's good.
I genuinely think that Patrick Surtain is a top two cornerback in the league, and it's him and Sauce Gardner. I think those are the two best for me that can shut down an opposing player no matter who they are. I love this guy, and quite honestly,
Christian Gonzalez looks pretty good too.
There's a number of good young players, and I agree. It's going to take some time to let some of this develop on how it goes forward, but we've seen Surtain do it already. He just got paid, and the other part about Denver that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration is playing against Denver is a different dynamic when you're playing in Denver. The Mile High does affect the game a lot differently than it does if you go into other stadiums. So you go into Denver, it's a tough place to play. They've got the altitude advantage. I think Surtain is just the kind of guy where if I have a guy playing against Surtain, I'd consider if I can do other things. And Pickens is on that border, depending on your squad, where there might be an option that says, hey, I like George Pickens, but he's not playing this week. I'd be happy to play George Pickens if I have to. I just hate the matchup because I love Surtain.
Yeah, I'm on board with that after what I saw he did at DK. I'm pissed. I started DK everywhere.
Quite honestly, and I'm not even this isn't even a point about anything, but I had this exact, as I said, I talked to a Seattle reporter last week on a show telling me that DK is going to go off. I said the same thing about Surtain. Watch this and that. He sent me a message this morning. Man, DK really did get shut down. Point being, I just think Surtain is that good. It's not about how good Pickens is because I like Pickens a lot. But when you have a shutdown corner at the level that Surtain is or Sauce Gardner, it doesn't matter the wide receiver. These guys are shutting them down.
What was it, the King?
What was that?
With the show, the guy that was really bullish on DK Metcalf, was it the King?
No, I don't think so. That's not his name. No.
Okay, we got a comment here from Phonesy. Standard scoring. I have London as my wide receiver 2. Do I trade Moss for Ayuk? My bench wide receivers are Sutton. Zach Moss for Ayuk? Yes. 100%. I don't even think about it. Is that real? They're gonna accept that? If they are, let me in that league. What about picking up Robinson for the Rams with Puka out? I like it, but it's going to be a tough start for you still. I feel like, but I love the shootout game between the Rams and the Cardinals. St. Brown killed me as well, Danny. Bandit says, my locks for tonight are Brees Hall over receiving, CMC over total yards, Purdy under his pass attempt, locks, stats to back it up, lock it in. Jay says, I'm in a 6-man league. A 6-man league? You can't ask me a question about a 6-man league.
Can you get rid of the comments with 6-man leagues? If you're in a 6-man league, we don't want no comments. That's it. 6-man league. What is this?
6-man, bro. That's a lot. Rams had 3 safeties in the game: 9-30, 84, and 33-12 win over the Giants. The safeties all came in one quarter. I can't wait to get to the Rams game because I was very impressed with what Sean McVay did with that offense, man.
I was more impressed with their defense.
Both sides of the ball.
I was very impressed with their defense.
All right, game 4. Man, I love this game. All right, we're gonna head to the Cardinals-Bills here. My takeaways from the Cardinals-Bills game is that Greg Dortch is gonna lead the Cardinals in targets all year. It is that Josh Allen can backpack a team no matter who the fuck it is. This guy is a video game player quarterback. It doesn't make sense. Keon Coleman got more work than I thought. Curtis Samuel did not do anything that I thought he would. Shakir ended up getting the touchdown, of course, when the guy I said I didn't want to play was Shakir. And Kyler Murray was kind of sketchy for me in this game. I mean, I thought the Bills' defense wasn't as good as they were projected to be, and Kyler passing was a little lost to me maybe in game 1 here. And Trey Benson is a 100% handcuff to me. And I'm trying to buy low on Marvin Harrison. What do you got, Rip?
This was a good game, man. I thought Arizona came out hot. I thought Arizona was going to pull the upset in the first half there, the way they were playing.
They're choked.
They were playing well. Tough place to play. You go to Buffalo week 1 on the road. You can excuse them losing. I think this is going to be the sort of Arizona experience this season where going to be in a lot of games that could be shootouts, that could be, back and forth. They're up, they're down. Looks like they have a shot, then they don't. So it should be an exciting team to watch. From a fantasy standpoint, that means points. Kyler's going to do the Kyler. Like I always call watching Kyler like an experience. It's like the Kyler. He's Kyler. Like, he'll run around. It's like playing Madden with the guy that plays the quarterback and is always circling, going backwards and throwing Hail Marys. It's fun to watch. It's tough if you're counting on certain things to happen. I would say you said Greg Dortch is going to lead the Cardinals in targets. I think you're wrong because that's going to be Trey McBride. He did lead them in targets.
The wide receiver room. The wide receiver room.
Okay, overall. Because Trey McBride didn't produce well in week 1, but he did have 9 targets. It just wasn't accurate. He wasn't catching it. I think Trey McBride will be better. So if you could buy low on McBride, you could buy low on Marvin Harrison. You got to go do that on the side. I was at one point impressed. Like Connor's numbers don't look great, but I was impressed watching him early on. But then it kind of slowed down. So I'm not sure what to think on Connor. I'd buy low on Kyler if I could as well. And then conversely,
it looked like the sluggish game got to Connor, right? Like he came out lit and then he slowed down.
Yeah, that was odd to me. But if you go to the Buffalo side,
Dalton Kincaid too.
That's who I was just going to mention because I don't want anything to do with the wideouts in Buffalo this season. But I'm certainly open to buying low on Kincaid. Like I said, we've talked about tight ends already for a while here. None of them really performed in week 1. So if there's someone that wants to get rid of their high tight end draft pick like Kincaid, I'm all in because I'm not going to let 1 week steer me off of Kincaid, who I think is going to be a big focal point. And that focal point is probably, unfortunately, going to start in week 2 this Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins. Because if I know one thing,
right?
Well, one thing I know about Miami is they do not cover tight ends well, and Buffalo has their number. Dalton Kincaid is probably going to eat this Thursday.
I got to give a shout out to Disco, man. He called Dawson Knox over Kincaid, too. It's a great fucking call, man. Take it away, Disco.
I also called Keon Coleman. I mean, like, ultimately, I'm going to agree. Your Dolphins historically may have sucked against the tight end position, but based off of my assessment and my projections, I said Evan Ingram's going to be a non-factor this week, and he was an absolute non-factor. So I will give your Dolphins a little bit more grace. I think your Dolphins can cover the tight end position a little bit more. I think they are a better cover team than they are a run defense team, right? And their run defense was not bad, especially against Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. I think the defense has taken a massive leap forward. Dalton Kincaid's one of those guys who was like, not necessarily a do not draft for me, but like where he was going based off of my projections, the return on investment just wasn't there, right? I think a guy that we should really start considering, especially when we look at the snap share, is Mac Hollins.
Wow, I know, right?
We really need to look at Mac Hollins. It's not just the snap share. It's not just 58% of the snaps, 36 snaps out of 62. It's not just that, right? It's this team goes as this guy goes. Like, they fucking love him. Sorry for cursing. They absolutely love him. I don't know if you guys saw, but like the joy that the entire team showed when Mac Hollins made any sort of play, like this team rallies around him. And not only does this team rally around him, they really believe in him, right? Keon Coleman led all wide receivers in snaps. He had 73%. Keon Coleman's going to get his. I think I wouldn't necessarily call him matchup proof, but he is clearly their number one. Mac Hollins, I think he is the sneakiest free waiver wire pick you can make after week one. And I'm not exaggerating. 12 or deeper. Like, if Mac Hollins is available, go get him. You're not going to have to pay much for him because not a lot of people are thinking this way. But I think he finally has a good situation, in a situation where the entire organization's rallying behind him, and I absolutely love him.
I agree. I mean, I got to go with the rip too. I'm looking to buy Dalton Kincaid 100%. James Cook looked damn good. Ray Davis was a non-factor. None of the rookie running backs were. So I mean, if we can get that out of the way, besides Bucky, really. Okay, let me pop some questions here. Andrew Rams. They were on a block punt. Block punt out of the end zone, a sack, and a second block punt recovered by the Giants. Are you going to the 32-12 game? I got you. Okay, let's head down to the next game here. I'll let Rippy take it away here. Which is going to be oh man, I love this one. I want to hear about Caleb Williams, the Titans, and the Bears.
Oh man, what do you want to hear about Caleb Williams and his debut? His winning debut. Caleb Williams 1-0 on the young NFL season. Just how Chicago drew it up. Strong offense, nothing else. Okay, in all seriousness, obviously, the debut from Caleb was what you would call a stinker. But with that being said, they got it done because of the special teams, because of that Bears defense. So there's a possible pickup, role there. You go for Bears defense. They looked electric. I think there's opportunity for them to continue to be good. They were great down the stretch last season. And why not? Why not continuing with that sort of big play, which is what you want in fantasy, especially, when you got the special teams and everything involved. Chicago just looked awful offensively across the board, right? It's not just Caleb Williams, but DJ Moore, 1 catch, 14 yards. That's not what you're looking for.
Or going up against Snead.
Rushing, 5 for 36 receiving. Keenan Allen, 4 for 29. These numbers are not what anybody wanted. Rome Odunze picks up an injury. He may be out for a while. We have to see what's going on there. Now, Caleb's got to be better. I'm a big Caleb believer, but obviously week one wasn't it. I think it's just one of those, is a rookie quarterback. This stuff is going to happen for these guys. I think we need to give him some time, but he's got to be better. If you have him, you got to start thinking about, I don't think that you drafted Caleb as your starting quarterback in fantasy anyways. He's probably that second, QB2, maybe he pops and you could trade him. So you shouldn't be in too much of an issue there. When you look at Tennessee to me this season just feels like a team that I just don't want to have action on because I don't know what's going on. I can't trust Will Levis, and I thought we saw that in the game. He's playing well in the first half, and then he threw it away in the second half. There's nothing there that's exciting.
Pollard looked good.
Pollard ran well, so Pollard ran well, but my problem is this. Are you confident that Pollard will continue to get 16 carries to Tyjae's 4 carries?
Yeah, Bears defense is good, and he's still balled out.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. I mean, it's something worth monitoring. That's fair if you guys see it. I just don't see it. I do think that Pollard ran well, obviously, in week one, but even listening to the coach said he had to get Tyjae more involved moving forward. And it wasn't like Tyjae didn't run well. I mean, he had 5.3 yards on, average on the 40 carries. So that one's just hard for me, and I don't have confidence if I'm starting Tony Pollard or Tyjae Spears. So when I don't have confidence in the player, regardless, it's like I stay away. I don't know that I like the receiving core there because I don't like Will Levis. So Tennessee is one of those teams where it's kind of like I'm away from. If I have a player on Tennessee and I could trade it, if I had Tony Pollard and I could trade him for someone that I believe a little bit more strongly in that's not in the timeshare or any type of commitment, I would. Outside of that, I don't have too much to add to this game.
Okay. I like it. I love Pollard after that game. I mean, he looks like he's not injured anymore. But let me hear what you got, Disco.
I mean, like, it is exactly what we said it would be in Tennessee, and that's why my drafters best ball exposure shows it accordingly. Tony Pollard is criminally underrated, and he showed exactly why. He's a startable flex play, not just in PPR format, but any format moving forward for the rest of the season. And you should do that confidently. Right. We called it. We said it. We also said that we don't believe in Will Levis, hence why we're out on every receiver there. The only person we believe in that offense is Tony Pollard. So I'm very happy about that. Rip, I want to go back to the stats that you said for DJ Moore because my stats show something completely different. How many receptions did you say DJ Moore had?
Oh,
no, I corrected it.
He had on accident. Yeah.
Yeah, he had five for 36. I read that wrong at the top. Yeah.
I'm not discouraged by the utilization of DJ Moore. I think with the injury to Roma Dunze, it's going to re-solidify the fact that DJ Moore needs to be fed early and often. And it also opens up avenues for Cole Kmet. Everything that Caleb Williams did wrong in that game is coachable, right? It's not from a talent standpoint. It's not from, just being bad football mentally. It's all coachable. It's all rookie mistakes. If we look at every number one quarterback who's been drafted in the past, only one number one overall has ever won their first game. Do you guys know who that was?
Oh, it's 20 years ago. I think they said on the game. I was watching it.
David Carr. Yeah. Derek Carr's big bro for Houston. So with that being said, the team's rallying behind him. The things he said after in the presser was the most impressive, right? Because he's not getting low on himself. He knows that he has a lot of work to do. He's not patting himself on the back. He gave credit where credit needed to be given, and I think he's definitely a good pro. If we look at all the talent that was added to that Tennessee Titans defense, they're going to give a lot of teams a lot of headaches moving forward. Pass rush was great. Linebacker play was phenomenal. And the DBs were excellent. The Tennessee Titans are going to play good defense in a division where good defense isn't really, going to be a thing this year. I think the Texans are going to hang around. I was very impressed by the Jaguars defense, by the way, especially the way they stifled that run game. Even though Devon Achane put up ridiculous numbers in the receiving aspect, I was super impressed as to how they shut down Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, and Devon Achane in the running game. That changes a lot of projections that I have moving forward. But with that being said, I think what I'm more perplexed about is when I'm looking at the snap count for the running backs right now.
DeAndre Swift was a never draft.
Well, no. DeAndre Swift played 70% of the time. That's not an issue. As I said, they went against a good fucking defense. But Travis Homer, 20% of the snaps. Kari Blasingame, 13%. Khalil Herbert, 11%. Where the fuck is Rojo?
Yeah,
and why is Khalil Herbert taking less reps than Travis Homer and Blasingame?
That was mind-blowing to me. I couldn't believe it.
That's my biggest takeaway from here. And the fact that Gerald Everett.
I saw that Vellis guy got carries too, bro. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. Vellis Jones Jr., he is a speedster, but yeah, he's got a long way to go. But the fact that Gerald Everett also outsnapped Cole Kmet means that Cole Kmet's knee isn't quite as ready as we thought it was going to be. And Gerald Everett might also be a pretty decent play in DFS this upcoming week. Who do they have?
I believe the Bears travel. Let me see here. Chicago.
They got the Colts.
Texans. They're gonna get crushed.
Oh, okay. Texans. Shit. I don't hate that matchup. I hate it for the running game, but I think that Caleb Williams could have a good game. That's Sunday Night Football. That's a good game. I think I like Caleb a lot this matchup. Just first glance, I like it.
I like it. I like it. My major takeaway here from this game that I like the most, and I can't believe no one brought up, is that Romo Dunze is now getting an MRI. But goddamn, Keenan Allen got 11 targets. He is the guy in Chicago. I know that they had Snead on DJ Moore, but the security blanket is what Caleb Williams is going to need. And I am trying to buy Keenan Allen wherever I can right now, because 11 targets is too good a volume. And now you got a game where they're playing the Texans. He's probably going to see 15 targets in this game, playing 90% from behind, and he's going to be a smash play week 2. Heading to the Tony Pollard side, I do think he looked great. Now, I'm not going to go against it here, but Tony Pollard for me is a sell high right now, if you can, because they get the Jets, they get Green Bay, they get Miami, and by then they're going to be 0-4. But they might be, never mind, they might be Green Bay, maybe, if Will Levis can pull it together, but it doesn't look good. And I don't like him. Go ahead.
You're taking Tennessee to beat Malik Willis?
Oh, good God, Malik Willis is so bad, bro. I didn't even put him on my waiver wire video. Don't even pick him up. It's not even worth it.
In a super flex, he might be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, okay. Would you start him over Will Levis versus the Jets?
Yes.
You would? I mean, he might outproduce him. You
know what? Because Malik offers you the rushing upside.
Will Levis did run the ball tremendously. He looked good as a runner.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
But just what's going on between the eyes, between the helmet, there's a lot. That guy's a head case, and that's why he was always a major avoid for me.
It's too much mayo. Too much mayo for me, man.
Did you know that that's an actual cent that you could purchase and all proceeds go to charity?
No, I did not know that. No.
Well, I appreciate the charity aspect, but I mean, I don't think
it's only $8. It's only $8 USD.
$7.99 too much.
Hey, it might be a good collectible down the road. Who knows, man? I want to walk. And apparently, it smells lemony, citrusy, fresh.
Lemony.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dominic in chat says, I was offered T. Higgins in a 1-for-1 deal for Isaiah Likely. Is this a no-brainer to accept for me? I would no-brainer accept that for Isaiah Likely 100%. I already had McBride. The other dude's desperate for tight end. Yes. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm smashing that. What's up, Christian? How we doing? Welcome in. What's your thoughts on Amon-Ra? Don't panic. It's week 1. You can't panic on that week 1. And if I can get Debo, mix him for him, do I do it? Oh, man. I still don't think so. Mixon looked like a volume monster. Like Pierce was irrelevant. All that preseason talk was garbage.
Dude, Joe Mixon looked like a guy that the Cincinnati Bengals could use.
Yeah, I know. God. I don't know. I think I'm keeping Amon-Ra. What would you guys do there? Debo, Mixon, or Amon-Ra?
It's tough. You got another roster construction, right? Like, what's your RB situation? That's the key, right? Because if you're able to, swap in Debo for Amon-Ra plus Mixon, and you really need running back, I do it. I like Amon-Ra season long over Debo, heads up. But I mean, Mixon's your RB1 right now overall in the season. Obviously, it's 1 week, but it looked like Mixon could be in for a massive season that I myself and probably others missed. Because I didn't expect him to come out with 30 carries and dominate 150 plus yards rushing and just look the part on an awesome offense.
I was more surprised by the 70+% snap share. They were telling us all offseason that it's going to be a mix and match here. It was all Joe Mixon. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
All right, heading down to the Patriots game. I gotta let Disco take it away here. You got to lead off.
Bro. I wasn't asked about the last 2 trades. No, I would not trade away T. Higgins for Isaiah Likely. And
why would you not?
And it depends on. I wouldn't trade T. Higgins for Isaiah Likely. I have my reasons. My reasons are very simple. I don't anticipate T. Higgins wants to play football, and if he does, how productive can he fucking be? Whereas Isaiah Likely has a clear role on a team that was ready to compete and win now. So I like him. I like the fact that he continues to get first reads, first looks from Lamar Jackson. He's his first read, his first option. I'm very encouraged by Isaiah Likely. I don't treat him as a tight end. I treat him as a flex, and he has wide receiver 1 upside. And I said that before, and I'll continue to say it again. Isaiah Likely is the greatest hold that you could possibly have, especially if you have him on your fantasy football team. Now, for the other trade, the Amon-Ra trade for Debo and Mixon, it's all indicative on what the format is. If it is half PPR or standard, I'm taking the trade. If it's PPR, I'm keeping Amon-Ra.
That's tough. Amon-Ra is hard to trade for me. He's going to smash down the stretch. Just one game, you can't panic.
Amon-Ra's one thing that we can't really rely on is the touchdown upside. Everything else, PPR format, we absolutely love. It's a touchdown upside that, like, you get down in that area. There's Laporta, there's Gibbs, there's Montgomery, there's JMO now. Like,
man, he's man.
Whereas like Debo and Mixon, those guys both have clear roles. And to answer your question, Rip, I did say that Joe Mixon's going to have a fucking spectacular day because that Indianapolis Colts, like every DFS game, I'm going against them. I fucking love the matchups.
It's a great call. Obviously, I can't be on every show or hear everything, but
No.
if you're on Joe Mixon, hell of a call.
Just for the matchup, not for the season, though.
Well, I mean, so what is it then? Just I know we want to move on, but what are your thoughts on Mixon the rest of the season after seeing him in week 1?
Top 10 running back.
So high.
Top 10 running back.
So high. Yeah, I don't have him finishing in the top 15 as a running back this year. PPR, standard, half PPR, doesn't matter. So high. The Colts defense is that bad. Like we're going to see Josh Jacobs put up similar numbers.
Wow.
I feel like he's going to eat up a lot of the Texans being ahead time numbers. I mean, they look like the full guy.
I will say Mixon does have a very favorable matchup as well. But like next week he's got the Bears. That's a favorable matchup. The Bears, if they let Tony Pollard do that, they're going to let Mixon. Then Vikings. Vikings is a little bit less favorable, but still favorable, startable RB 1-2 numbers. Let's look at week 4. Week 4, he has who are the Texans? Jacksonville. I don't like him against Jacksonville. If
I can't believe the Jags did that to the Dolphins.
Yeah, if that's an indication as to what to expect.
Hold on.
Right, and then the week after that, who do the Texans have?
Jaguars did what to the Dolphins? Lose? Congratulations, Jacksonville.
Stop the run game. That's what I'm talking about. Stop the run game.
Like, what did Raheem Mostert do?
Dolphins' offensive line was leaking like a faucet, so.
Well, Mostert got hurt in like the second quarter, went to the sideline. He never looked the same. And then A-King, I guess, kind of got banged up at the end, but Jeff Wilson came in.
Please.
What do you got?
A-Chan.
My guy. It doesn't matter. A-Chan.
He's your guy.
RB3.
He's hurt.
A-Chan. Yeah, he's your guy. A-Chan. Like 4chan,
right.
But A-Chan. You got this. I know you did. We'll get there. Maybe by December, but we're going to keep trying.
That's fine. I'll get there. All right. Break me down how these goddamn Patriots beat the Bengals, Disco, because I did not see this coming.
No one in America except for Disco.
Did I call it?
Let me hear it, bro.
I'm just saying you might need to change the camera angle right now because like I'm at the bottom of the screen. There's like a ticker there. Every time you there you go. Maybe even swap it a little bit more so I can get my close up. It's my 5 minutes of fame. Oh shit, that's an ugly fucking mug right there.
How do I hang on? I add a camera slot here. We're gonna give you the full thing.
I'm dead.
I can't get it to you.
No. Listen. Go back to the basic one. You're fine. No, like simply put, it wasn't a Patriots take. I knew that the Patriots were going to play solid defense because they have a solid defensive-minded head coach now in Gerard Mayo, and they've always had that. Even though we've lost, significant amounts of talent on the defensive side, just based off of the volatility of the offseason that the Bengals have had, it was very easy to project that it was going to go poorly for Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. That's another team where it's like I would buy very low on everybody in Cincinnati right now. And I'm anticipating a 5-week ramp up. And after week 5, they're going to be absolutely unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable because Jamar Chase still needs to get his anatomical adaptation. Yes, he had 6 targets and 6 receptions for 66 receiving yards. That's a whole lot of sixes. I don't like it. But like we saw him below his floor. We saw him with, less than a day or two at practice, fully, practicing. He's coming off an illness. I'm not out on the Bengals whatsoever. They just had a very volatile training camp, and the next 4 to 5 weeks is going to be their training camp, and it's going to be baptism under fire. And then they're going to start firing on all cylinders. And I'm 100% like for the late push, especially the playoffs. They have a very favorable matchup in the fantasy football playoffs. I love the Bengals. I'm not out on the Bengals. The Patriots, I mean, Jerome Baker was a healthy scratch. Demario Douglas was hardly utilized. Hunter Henry didn't do diddly. Jalen Polk had 1 target, 1 reception. It was KJ Osborne. He had 8 targets in the receiving game, and then Ramondre Stevenson was an absolute smash. But that's also because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is absolutely atrocious, and that's why I love, buying low on the offensive weapons there in Cincinnati, because they're going to be playing against a very, very fantasy football friendly game script for the rest of the season, where that defense can't stop fuck all. And
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
And Joe Burrow's going to need to put up 6,000 yards, 60 passing touchdowns in order just to keep up, let alone win. Right. So I'm here for it. I'm definitely making that investment.
They also got a lot of turnovers that were lucky, man. The 1 yard line, the punt fumble. I mean, everything seemed to go the Patriots way in this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was here for it. It was great.
That was the call of the week, man. The takeaway that I hate the most from this game is that Brissett won. And now we're going to have to wait longer to see Drake May. The wide receiver room was terrible. Ramondre was electric. And Chase Brown, I don't want to hear any more fucking anything about Chase Brown anymore. No, he's not him. I don't want to hear any more than nothing.
It's true.
Moss was even better. Yeah. I never saw it with him. I never see him being a running back in between the tackles at all. Jamar Chase, he got Christian Gonzalez. He's going to be in lockdown. I might even put DK on a sit next week because of Gonzalez. He shouted him all over, even though he still got some slot receptions, like, 4 receptions out of the slot. It's not encouraging next week for me for DK. But yeah, Ramondre, man, he looked the part. I'll give him that. What do you got on that, Rip?
As a resident Dolphins fan, I probably should not speak on the Patriots, but hey, congratulations, New England, for winning. Your now draft position is much further down the board than you expected. Maybe win a couple more. Don't get a top pick. Enjoy your season. Shout out to Disco, man. What an upset. Burned more than 50% of the tickets in Survivor right off the bat. I'd be concerned if I'm Cincinnati. You get to go have a trip to Kansas City in week 2. Things are not looking up, guys. And Joe Burrow, I was a little concerned coming into the season. Now, granted, I'm the guy that put Cincinnati as my AFC champion. I'm really worried because what we saw from Joe Burrow, and I get slow starts. I get that they do this all the time in Cincinnati, but this looked bad. They running game.
What's the fucking Patriots hat on?
The running game was not good. I have real concerns about the entire Cincinnati offense right now, and it doesn't seem like in the next couple of weeks it's going to be that more exciting. So I'd be very unhappy if I was a Bengals fan, obviously. And congrats, Disco. You had an amazing call. You look great in your fedora. And again, keep winning just enough that you don't have a top pick next season, and keep playing Brissett. That's all I got.
Any buy players, sell players from this game? Because I would be interested in buying T. Higgins.
Yeah, I think that the trade that we saw from the chat, great trade to try to pick up T. Higgins. But I think the real question is, T. Higgins hurt, or is this his way of protesting?
That's what I'm wondering. Does he want to be a bitch and just not play? Yeah.
And the issue with that is now you have to start to consider, is this going to be something that we see all season? Is it all of a sudden in week 12 going to be, I'm not playing. I don't feel like it today because I hurt myself, but he's not really hurt. That's a real thing you have to consider. And so when you start thinking about fantasy a longer term, and this is the way I approach it, is when you have question marks because of uncertainty, because of the volatility, I try to stay away from that. And so T. Higgins, while I'm happy to trade from early in the season right now with the idea like I can give up probably something very little to get him, if someone wants to get rid of it, I do it, but I'm not trading someone that I really count on for him because of that uncertainty, and it's something to watch. If he plays, he's great. The other thing, this whole Andre Yoshevach stuff I was hearing the last couple of weeks, he's not a player. He's just not. Okay? So that's it.
I like it. Okay. I mean, Bengals, man. I'm baffled. That was a dud. By 1 week. Don't overreact. It's 1 week, but that was a dud. Just like Joe Mixon here. What are your thoughts, Ramondre, rest of the season? If Joe Mixon is a sell high, then what is Ramondre?
I would also call Ramondre a sell high. I don't think that's a sustainable offensive production that we looked at if we're looking at the dropbacks, the way the quarterback play happened, like as long as Jacoby Brissett's there, the Patriots are not going to compete against real defenses. And I think Seattle's going to give New England a rude awakening because their defense was firing on all cylinders. Jacoby Brissett can be a check down king, but what it comes down to is I think Ramondre has like 1 or 2 good weeks left in him until Drake May takes over. Once Drake May takes over, then Ramondre's playable. But like until then,
you think it's 1 or 2 weeks for Drake May after a win?
No, I think it's 1 or 2 more good weeks, and then it starts looking really bad based off of our schedule.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay,
yeah. So because like this week we got Seattle, so like Seattle's run defense really good. Right.
Ooh, look at this schedule for you. Wow, this Patriots schedule, man.
Wait. You told me that Javonte Williams had a plus matchup versus Seattle bad run D.
100%. And then week 1, I got slapped in the fucking face because Seattle run D was
because Javonte Williams sucks.
But like, listen, man, you're not talking about Jaleel McLaughlin being a fucking bum.
I'm not, but I know.
Yeah, because that was your guy. That was your league winner. That's the guy.
I said that he would outscore Javonte, and he's outscoring Javonte.
I love that I showed up on a week 1 recap, and you guys are still going after each other for like the preseason stuff. I don't even know what's going on here.
Hey, man,
I know we got a Patriots fans gloating on his win, as he should.
I'm gloating on the fucking the fact that I took Arizona to cover. I took Jags to cover, and I took Patriots money line, and it all hit in a parlay.
Yeah, that's congrats on your Jags. Congrats on your Jags cover, brother.
Yeah,
I'm happy for it. We support.
Hey, that was great. I feel good. My week 1 was spectacular.
Hey,
it was a good week 1. We made a lot of fucking money.
Hey, quickly, just to touch on this though, I think it's important. The meaning of sell high to me is Ramondre Stevenson. Here's a guy who was awesome in week 1. And I think he's a pretty good running back if it's a good situation. Hate the Patriots situation long-term in the season because you don't trust Jacoby. Obviously, your defense first. So if you could trade Stevenson and get something of real value, I like it, even though he's a pretty good player. But look at this schedule of the next few. It's Seattle, at the Jets, at the Niners, the Dolphins, the Texans, at Jacksonville, and then the Jets again.
Yeah, it's rough. So high.
That's brutal. Jesus.
What's up, BK? Bengals threw my $1,200 away. I'll get to your question in a second, Mo. I'll answer these ones first. Timbo Slice says, what do you think about Mike Williams? I never think about Mike Williams.
I like him for the longest reception in the drafters pick him today.
On half snaps?
Yeah. He has 1 trick.
Well, I know. Captain Jack says, huge fan of the show. I have the option of trading Worthy for London. Yes. I'd smash that in a heartbeat. Worthy is a boomer bust, low target. Drake London is going to start feasting. That was 1 bad game. If that owner wants to sell a 2nd-round pick for a 10th, you take that all day. Moan says, should I feel dumb for drafting Gibbs over Saquon? I can't comment on the Saquon, man. He was my RB2 on the year. No one else had Saquon this high. He's going to ball out all year, baby. I feel bad. Yes, Saquon's the guy. Okay, heading down to our next game here. I'm gonna take it away. I know you got to leave at 4, right? It is your game, brother. Dolphins, Jags.
Ooh.
Here we go.
I didn't come up. Victory Monday. Dolphins hat, Dolphins shirt, Dolphins jerseys, the legends. I got Dolphins boxers on, Dolphins sock. It's a Miami Monday right now. The police can't stop us. Nobody can stop us. We're running train. We got the W. Now, look, the reality is Jacksonville lost the game more than Miami won the game, right? Because Jacksonville really should have won the game. It was an unbelievable effort that somehow they didn't win the game. They were dropping key 3rd down passes. I want to start with Jacksonville here, in all honesty, because what I saw from Jacksonville was interesting. Disco touched on it earlier. Evan Ingram was a no-show. I didn't see, him no-showing against the Dolphins as a thing. I think he gets it on track. But what excited me if I'm Jacksonville is rookie Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, man.
LSU products seem to do well in the NFL, and there's been a lot of talk about Malik Neighbors this year, as he deserves, because he's a great talent. But what I saw from Brian Thomas Jr. in week 1 and what I've seen from him in college leads me to believe that Brian Thomas Jr. is not only going to be a hell of a receiver in the NFL, he'll be a hell of a receiver this year, and a guy that is on my radar that could be the go-to guy in Jacksonville this season, someone that if you want to see if you can buy low or someone for the whole season, BTJ fits that because I expect Brian Thomas Jr. to continue to produce in different ways. He looked like he looked like an NFL receiver when you watched, and he was awesome. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't get helped by those drops from some of the guys. He didn't play great, but he didn't play as poor as I think the stats show because he got those key drops from the team. So if I'm looking at the squad, I'm trying to go get Brian Thomas Jr., and then you have to be concerned about Etienne. The fumble killed him, and if you look at the numbers, he got 12 carries, Etienne. Bigsby got 12 carries.
Bigsby, man.
Tank Bigsby went for 73 yards in those 12 carries, while Etienne went for 44. So it is concerning if you have Etienne right now because the fumbling problem is going to get your bench right away. Let's go to Miami. HN. I mean, HN in space is just an unbelievable sight to see. You get him those little throw dumps in the flat. You give him a little bit of space, and he makes it look easy. And I didn't even think this was particularly that good a game for him. And he still crushed.
20.
And so I expect HN to do significantly better if he can stay healthy. That's obviously the key here. But as this offense continues to move forward, and they looked dead, they looked quiet early on. It was not going well. The heat got to them in the second half. But the thing is, when you look at that offense, you want Dolphins players. They are quick. They are fast. And all of a sudden, before you know it, they're having a bad game. They're having a good game. Think about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill puts up what? Wide receiver 2 stats, and it looked like he was a non-factor for a while there. And all of a sudden, in one play, he's got an 80-yard bomb. So it's the type of thing, if you have Dolphins or you can get Dolphins players, get them. Waddle looked good. I mean, heck, Tua went for 338. And you know what's interesting about Tua? He's not a great fantasy quarterback generally.
Did he get that 5 yards rushing?
He did.
He got 11.
So he had – here's the thing. This is where I'm going with this.
That, by the way. That's a great bet.
Here's what I'm going to say about this too. Is I forgot we did this on the show. I was talking about his rushing yards. The key was that not only did he rush and have one scramble for 11 yards, there was a couple other scrambles that Tua showed where there was a penalty. They got called back. But the point is, a thinner Tua looks like he's going to run a little bit more. So from a fantasy perspective, you could do worse. If he's going to put up 300 yards passing and gets a few more rushing yards, which I think he's going to do this season, you've got a guy that could be serviceable, especially in a super flex and someone in bye week. So pay attention there. But otherwise, go grab your Dolphins, man. That's the idea, honestly. Win fantasy. You want guys that score, they're fun. That's what you got to do.
I agree completely. I thought A-Chan could have dropped 30 to 40 if he was playing his actual A-Chan game. It didn't look like the Dolphins offense came out right for like the first half. Or maybe it was when Mostert banged his leg or knee or whatever happened. He was bending over on the sideline. And then you saw Jeff Wilson. It just didn't seem like a Dolphins game. Or it could be the Jags defense is better than I thought. Because they were supposed to be the worst secondary coming in with like a 27th ranked defense. Their defensive line is supposed to get ran over. And they showed up. And they showed out. I was very impressed there with the Jags defense. To head to Brian Thomas Jr., man, he's unbelievable. He's going to have a better season than Malik Neighbors already, just because Danny Dimes is so terrible. I'm fully on board with that 100%. If I'm looking at the Jags side, the worry I have is Christian Kirk. I thought that he dropped a couple balls. Maybe it's the hamstring. Maybe it's his first time coming back. I thought he was a lock to dominate this game with Ramsey being banged up, and he just did not show up at all. So I'm really worried about him. If I drafted him early, Evan Ingram, Disco fucking nailed that. He was absolutely locked up. I don't see that happening the rest of the way. He'll get his groove going. And BTJ also had a PI called in the end zone where he could have got another touchdown. So, I mean, this guy could be a 2-touchdown weekly guy. He's going to be the red zone guy. He's the big body. Dolphins side, not much to talk about. Tyreek Hill and Tua are always going to go off. Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Waddle bounced back after the injury. He dropped 100+. Mostert worries me. And, I mean, Jonnu Smith is an afterthought. I'm tired of hearing about tight ends in Miami. It's done. It's done. It did nothing. That's all I got to say there for that. What do you got, Disco?
Yeah, we said Christian Kirk wasn't going to be utilized or worth a damn week 1. We hit. I also feel like he's not going to be worth a damn for the entire.
He did drop a couple balls though, so I mean, I can't.
Because he sucks at football. Your job as a wide receiver is to catch the fucking ball, and he didn't.
Damn, hit him. All right.
Let's be real. I think Evan Ingram, he still has a couple more difficult matchups. I don't have him with like easier matchups until week 4. Is that week 4 where he plays the Bills? That's where it starts getting easier for him, and that's where he will start putting up tight end 1 numbers in PPR format. Brian Thomas Jr., like I called it early on. I drafted 69% of him in the Drafters Million 3. I said that he was going to be my rookie wide receiver 1, and he's going to finish the season easily as a top 15, potentially a top 10 wide receiver, and I'm sticking to it. I absolutely love the player. I think he's spectacular. I called him Megatron. He's one of those guys where he's borderline matchup proof, and the matchups that he has doesn't need him to prove that moving forward. This matchup against the Cleveland Browns, I anticipate for him to eat once again. I think Travis Etienne, we shouldn't necessarily panic. Same with that running game. I think the only way we should worry about the running game for Miami is in the sense of it being like an injury prone. Because Devon Achane, he's either 50 fantasy points or he's on your IR. There's no in between, right?
What? Pause. CMC was just ruled out?
Jordan Mason 11.5 was my lot.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, good luck getting that now, bud. But with that being said, like I think it's the Thursday nighter. It's too close of a turnaround right now for us to really. I'm just about to put a lot of money on this because
holy shit! Christian McCaffrey ruled out. I'm losing my mind.
$25. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Tough one.
I just got Jordan Mason over 11.5 rushing yards. Let's go. This is nice. I love it. But yeah, with that being said, I think it's too close of a turnaround, especially with the Thursday nighter coming up, with HN being banged up and Mostert having what was it, a chest. I think Jalen Wright might be a good play finally, because he's a guy who I've been drafting because I've been concerned about Mostert and HN's injuries. I'm not necessarily worried about HN season long. I just haven't gotten a lot of exposure to him in best ball because of the injury situations. Can't really draft a second rounder or a third rounder and not have him play vast majority of the game. So I like Jalen Wright. I like Jeff Wilson. I like what James Conner did against Buffalo Bills defense, and I think that any of the running backs, whoever's starting for Miami, is inclined to be a top 5 RB on the year. So I like that. Waddle is him. Tyreek Hill is him. Jonnu Smith is who we thought he was. But yeah, I'm not worried about Travis Etienne. Both run defenses played way better than I thought they would, and both of them have favorable matchups going into the week.
Well, it's okay.
Oh.
The host of the show has lost his mind.
I'm going over I have so much CMC. Give me a second. I'm checking my roster.
Look,
it's ridiculous.
Anybody out here flexing about how much CMC they had, how did people get first pick that easily? Because I don't even have any CMC because I didn't get first pick for these drafts that I'm in. All right.
I had
usually it's whoever's last gets first pick, right?
No, we do lottery. I don't lose in fantasy. You know this.
That would hurt him. That would cut. That would really hurt.
See here.
I'm
gonna lose Scott Fish because of this shit, bro.
I hate pouring salt on your wound, brother.
Oh,
I can't change my lineup in Scott Fish because everyone's locked in, and my running back is already played.
I don't even know how to read my lineup on Scott Fish.
Oh my fucking god, bro! This is so whack.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me regroup here. Jesus Christ.
Huh.
Thank God I got a lot of breeze.
And they don't update shit till the end. All right, well, that's the worst news you could possibly get right now. Breece Hall is going bananas tonight.
I mean, he still has a difficult matchup. But
but no CMC. He's going to eat more.
I think Brock Purdy passing numbers needs to be absolutely electric. I think Jordan Mason 11.5 rushing yards. What's that now? What's the prop now?
Yeah, let's dive into the pick'ems right here while we're at it. Let's dive into this here. Oh, they canceled them all. They're gone.
I can't believe I fucking got it.
Oh my god. So I got Jordan Mason with you. By the way, I did the same thing here. Let me pull
but I panicked. Here's the thing. I panicked.
And just pick three.
They only got kickers. I panicked and I paired him with Mike Williams over 26.5 receiving yards. So I'm going to sweat my dick off for this one.
Okay, hang on. I got, let's see here, upcoming. I smashed it. Jordan Mason over 11, Christian McCaffrey under 71, Breece over
Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Yeah, I'm just celebrating that CMC's out because I'm okay. Hold on. Let me show you my fantasy matchup, especially in Yahoo. This is the big one. This is the big league, and I had Cooper Cup just go absolutely bananas. And the last guy this guy had was CMC, and he has nobody on the bench. And I'm up by 4.
I'm in trouble.
This is a great day. This is spectacular. I'm here for this. Let's go. I survived. Cooper Cup went bananas for me yesterday, man. I'm so impressed that he did exactly what, every logical thinker in the fantasy football world thought he would do.
41% ownership of Cooper Cup on drafters.
Yeah, man. I'm up there with you, buddy. It doesn't matter what his age is. Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's out, dude. I'm gonna lose Scott Fish, Andrew. Look at the standings. I just got fucked. Oh my god.
I really wish I knew how to check my Scott Fish Bowl.
So right now in Scott Fish, it's 163 to 167, and I have CMC, and I can't move anything.
I don't even know what this app is that I'm doing.
The only good thing about Scott Fish, because the irony here, Slee, is that we are in one league together. That is,
I know Scott Fish. Yeah,
Scott Fish.
It's fucked.
Okay. It's okay. I mean, I got to go up against fantasy football Buffalo, just working.
He dropped 206.
Yeah, he's just working me. So I'm happy that I dropped nothing.
I guess I can win if Zerline hits a 40-yard field goal. I'm all right. Yeah, never mind. Okay, I forgot I have Zerline.
Oh, I had an awful week in Scott Fish. Jeez Louise. Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, Jalen Warren, Zamir White. Oh, fudge. Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase. Jalen Waddle did all right for me. That's one. Debo, Cole Kmet. Oh, my God. Cameron Dicker, the kicker.
I started Mims and Dortch, bro. You like that? Right, Rip?
I don't know how you do it.
Ballsy,
right.
baby. Ballsy, baby.
I mean, and ballsy and fun, and this has been everything I expected plus more. I got a dip here. I hope to come back in future weeks. Reminder: this man right here, Sleazeball, is coming on the morning after next Monday, week 2. It was a hell of an episode this morning. It's gonna be a hell of a time next week. I can't wait to get your takeaways from next week, and hopefully McCaffrey will play in week 2, so you can talk about your team and everything on the show.
You're gonna be on Discos on Thursday?
I hope he's gonna have me, man. I'm waiting, man. I'm ready.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if he. Well,
I
look,
texted you. You're obviously coming. So.
But sometimes there's only so much winning that can be on the show, and obviously, Disco's a winner right now. He's rocking his dubs. I just want to make sure. Hey.
By the way, Rip's team scored 100 in Scott Fish. Well, I'm looking at 200.
It's not good. Hey, but you know what they
say?
Did
113, so not much better.
It's honestly, hey, but if you look at that bench, J.K. Dobbins just waiting to come on board.
Oh, he looks good.
Who knows? Man, that draft was so long ago when you think about it at this point. But anyways, have a great rest of the time, guys. You guys are killing it always, and I will see you guys soon.
Got you guys. Make sure you check out the description. Michael Rips YouTube is in there, and make sure you smash a follow on his Twitter, man. Great content always. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, how do I? Oh, there we go. Okay, that's even better. Disco time. All right. Do we want to talk any pick'ems Monday night game, or do you want to talk Panthers Saints? I don't even want to talk Panthers Saints or Giants Vikings.
I will say the one thing that I'm encouraged by the Panthers Saints is if I'm looking at the
Kamara.
No, not even Kamara. Obviously, anybody's going to play well against them, right? But if we're looking at snap share, everybody said Miles Sanders would get no touches. He got 37% snap share, so I'm okay with that.
He got He got like 5 touches.
Yeah, but he also had some targets, and it's how often he was on the field.
People looked terrible. He looked terrible. Miles Sanders could get this job. That's a good call. But it's not going to be a great job to get. But I got to give you that one.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because that matchup, both of them sucked camel dick, but one of them looked more explosive than the other. And the next 5 out of 6 matchups are very favorable. And then Jonathan Mingo is not dead. Jonathan Mingo is still a factor. He's still, there, and he's still getting targets. So if we're going to get any sort of points, this is just simply basketball.
Yeah,
These guys are not guys I'm picking up. This is
Jonathan Mingo got garbage time targets. He wasn't out to the beginning. Deontay Johnson was getting 35% target share before the blowout. 100%.
You certain?
Yep. Positive. He didn't play the whole second half, bro. They're toasted. They're down 40-0. So Mingo, that's all garbage time. I'm not buying that he's relevant still.
I may have overlooked that, but I still think he has relevance. Like he got utilized.
Yeah, dude, Deontay Johnson didn't play a snap in the second half. It was ridiculous.
Neither
did Kamara.
He still got on the field in the first half, though. It's like, yes, Deontay Johnson didn't play the second half, but doesn't mean that like he's not going to have a couple of good, like as a round 20 pick where nobody else.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Him and Miles Sanders both have value. Like once again, they're not waiver wire pickups by any means, but for some of my best ball drafts, especially where Zamir White has that slow ramp up, like I need my round 20 guys to hit. It was nice that Justice Hill did his thing, and
I would have dropped 200 fat guys if CMC wasn't out. I'm at 170 with a kicker left. Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, whoever's heavy. Dude, Baker was a smash play. I had him as a smash start. I need Brees and Debo for 62 points. You might not be cooked, bro, with CMC out. Debo might see a lot. It could happen. I'm not gonna say it couldn't, but I don't think it's going to.
Fuck. It's a toughie.
That's a toughie. Any Giants Vikings comments besides Sam Darnold looked pretty good?
With Jordan Addison being out for the foreseeable future, Jalen Nailor is a must pick up.
Jalen Nailor must pick up. He scored a cheater too.
Yeah, he's also a returner. So I mean, if he's available and Scott Fish, by all means, go get him. I also think that Theo Johnson 4 targets, Bellinger 1 target. Theo Johnson brought in 1 for 18 yards. That's encouraging.
That was the line too, wasn't it? 18, the over under.
No, the over under was 18.5.
Oh, I remember taking that. That's why I missed it. Okay, yeah. Got you.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Of course.
But Josh Allen, fuck that. I thought he would get longest run for sure. 13.5 yards. His longest run was 7.
He didn't get it.
No.
I guess the only thought I would have on the Vikings game is Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a target hog.
Oh yeah.
And my next thing would be Jefferson's going to go bananas with Addison down.
Yeah, well, we saw that in the waiver wire video about Wan'Dale Robinson. I put him number 2 above J.K. Dobbins.
But I gotta look at like Aaron Jones, man. He showed me something. He's still got a little burst in those old legs. He still worries me with his age and his injury, but I was wrong there. I was on sit Aaron Jones.
When do they play Green Bay?
Let me pull it up here. Aaron Jones. They go San Francisco, Houston, Green Bay, Jets. They're fucked. Sell high. Now.
San Francisco is going to be tough, but we'll see what San Francisco does tonight.
Green Bay's a smash play because I mean, look at well, I don't know. Barkley has a great O line. It could be different without that.
The revenge game factor is pretty fucking tasty. I like it. I'm playing Aaron Jones everywhere just for that storyline. Texans is going to be difficult. I was dead wrong about Jonathan Taylor in that game.
Oh, dude, their front is nasty, bro. They got after him.
Yeah, they did.
And the Texans O line was bad, and they still kind of held up.
Yeah, and I mean Anthony Richardson.
That throw from his back leg, bro, that's unhuman.
Dude, like Alec Pierce is so much faster than I thought he was.
And the funny thing is that Anthony Richardson said Alex Pierce is having a hell of a camp, and everyone's overlooking him. In the first game of the year, he's fucking second in
receiving yards and a receiving touchdown. I have 0 Alec Pierce in best ball.
Zero. It's crazy.
How many best ball do you think have him?
I don't have one. I've done 300 drafts with 0.
That's crazy. I've done 500 and I've seen him 0 times.
What's up, Outer Horizon? How you doing? He goes, Mark Andrews or Brock Bowers next week. So if you look at Brock Bowers, he also, just like we were talking about, he ate in garbage time. He got like 56 yards on his 5 receptions or whatever. Let me pull it up.
Who are they each playing? I closed everything.
The Raiders. Hang on. Let me pull up Bowers real quick. So I think in the first half, Bowers had like 18 yards. And then when they were down 12 at the end of the fourth, he ate a bunch of them at the very end. They play Baltimore next. I'm not playing Brock Bowers at all. The Ravens.
That might be a good game for Michael Mayer.
The Ravens go at Las Vegas. Oh, yeah, Las Vegas. I'm playing Mark Andrews.
Oh, they're playing against each other.
Yeah. What am I saying? I just didn't even realize it. I pulled up both teams. I don't have my rankings done for next week. I'm just starting to work on them. Gotcha. I'm doing the same thing, fat guys.
If you spent the draft capital on Mark Andrews, you can't sit him.
Yeah, I firmly believe that everyone is panicking. They bracketed Andrews and they bracketed Kels, guys. Go buy low right now. They're not done. I don't think that at all.
A lot of my bully tight end lineups are fucking panicking right now.
Oh, they are. Okay. Now we get to the game that's fun. The Javonte Williams Broncos Seahawks game. What did you think about the Broncos and Michael Rip saying they're winning 8 games?
I mean, like, they weren't as bad on defense as I thought they would be. Offensively, they were terrible. I'm a genius because I said Bo Nix is the check down king, and I hit the over on the completions.
Yep.
And cashed in on my lock. He was one of a 4-piece lock, so that was spectacular. As for the running game, I think the only thing to be encouraged by is the 5 targets, 5 receptions for Jaleel McLaughlin. They both did nothing. Him, Javonte, even estimate they did absolutely nothing. But only one receiving yard can't really be discouraging if we're just talking about being involved in the receiving game, being an explosive athlete the way he is. I think based off the game script.
Let me pause for a second here. I got a trivia question for you or chat. Who was the most targeted rookie in receptions in week 1? Targeted.
Most targeted rookie?
Mm-hmm.
Week 1?
Mm-hmm.
In receptions?
Yep. Who was targeted the most in the NFL in week 1 as a rookie?
It was that Devon guy.
Devon Vele from the Broncos was the most targeted rookie in the NFL. Keep going. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, I think Joe McLaughlin, especially since their schedule is pretty tough the next couple of weeks, he's probably the better start between the two. But I also wouldn't start either one of them. I don't anticipate he's going to go 5 receptions for 1 receiving yard in the future. I do think 5 receptions is his floor, especially with the negative game script that he's going to be playing against. And we know that check down king Bo Nix likes to check it down, and hopefully he'll have a little bit more production. But like as for Javonte, it's just tough sliding for that running game in general, man. It really is. Like both of them are not startable, and as I said before, like I would prefer Javonte over Jaleel McLaughlin, but I also wouldn't draft either one of those boneheads.
I'm just gluing away I can.
Keep gloating, but remember, don't forget, we have receipts where you said Jaleel McLaughlin's a league winner.
I said he's going to outscore him, and he's going to outscore him.
No. I got receipts, buddy.
That's fine.
Keep McLaughlin, league winner.
My takeaway here that is crazy is I'm going to, me and Rip were talking about it on Twitter too before the show. Dude, Patrick Surtain is him. DK Metcalf, I thought, would be matchup proof. He was not. Every catch he even had were contested as fuck. Like, God, Surtain is him. He might be on Sauce Gardner's level. Jay Season, I was disappointed in. Tyler Lockett was better than him. Is the breakout going to happen? That's a question I have. Kenneth Walker looked amazing. The oblique injury is kind of terrible at the end. Noah Fant is a non-factor like always. On the Denver side, I thought Cortland Sutton would see more targets. He did not. I thought Dulcich would see more targets. He did not. The whole fucking offense is exactly what I thought it would be. It's the worst in the NFL. It's terrible. Javonte Williams is never startable in fantasy. Don't get him out of your lineups. All of you that were giving me shit, I can't wait till the season's over.
But what about Jaleel McLaughlin? Like, I'm curious as to where you stand with Jaleel McLaughlin.
He's outscored Javonte Williams. I'm going to stand on that all year.
But, like, is he still a league winner, sleazeball?
Oh, he might be a league winner. We'll see. They're playing behind 90%. We'll see.
You're fucking ridiculous.
As long as he does better than Javonte, I don't care about the rest of the story.
All right.
And then Bo Nix, man, I know it's his first game at Seattle, but I wasn't impressed. I mean, he had a lot of open receivers he missed. And one thing that was weird to me is Marvin Mims barely played. I thought that he would be the second or third wide receiver. He wasn't even out there. That was another shocker to me. And Geno Smith and the Ben Grubb offense didn't look that good.
I think the Ben Grubb offense looked great. I think Geno Smith looked awful. And like the fantasy,
you could go with that too.
Doesn't show up because he went for a 30-yard rush. But like,
oh man, that was wheels up, huh? I can't believe you run like that.
I did not like. What was the stat? He was the second oldest player to
ever run that many yards. I
saw that. Run for a 30-yard touchdown. That's pretty interesting tidbit. But like, with that being said, Geno looked terrible. I'm not out on DK. I once again,
no, I'm not saying out on DK. I'm saying he got locked up.
Patrick Surtain, good football player. I don't think he's him. I think he just benefited from really, really poor quarterback play on the opposition.
Are you liking Charbonnet if K9 misses any time? Because I don't really like
think Charbonnet is a
Charbonnet.
league winner. If K9 misses time, Charbonnet is easily a league winner with the amount of utilization that the running game got. And
Even after last season and how bad he looked?
he looked great this past game.
No, what? No, he did not. He had terrible yards. He was like 1 yard a carry.
Look at the receptions.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah.
He had 8 carries for 12 yards, which is terrible.
Okay.
And he had 2 receptions for 29 yards.
And then
that's it.
1 receiving touchdown.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. He got the touchdown. Yeah, I remember the swing play.
Okay, but let's look at Javante's first 8 runs.
Yeah.
Or not Javante's, Kenneth Walker's first 8 runs. What are the stats for his first 8 runs?
They were terrible until he busted loose.
Exactly. So if we're talking about just, being terrible, both with the same amount of touches and volumes, and then busting loose.
Oh, K9 said he's not missing time. He's fine. Okay.
I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm not putting much fab on Zach Charbonnet if he is available. But every league I'm in, he's not available, so it doesn't matter. And I didn't pick him up. But if Kenneth Walker goes down, I think he's a league winner.
And what was crazy is Josh Reynolds saw 8 targets as well.
Yeah.
Where is Cortland Sutton? What are we doing here? I don't understand what Denver's doing. I feel bad for Bo Nix because he has no help.
But where's Troy Franklin? Where's Marvin Mims? What did those guys do?
Nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, I'm telling you, I never believed in any of this offense. I never will. I just can't.
It was a tough walk. They should only get better, but the matchup is tough this week, man.
Right. Heading down to if you guys have any questions as well in chat, fire away. He says I put 100K. He's gonna be out there. I think so as well. I think he'll be out there. I love this game, man. Dak Prescott, the Cowboys and the Browns. I had Dak on a sit-em. I had CD on a sit-em. They both went under projection. The game got away from him though. I thought the Browns would run away with this game. They did not. The Browns looked terrible. Deshaun Watson, you were right, looked terrible. Yep. 45 pass attempts, 24 completions. He was lost in the sauce. Jerome Ford got saved by garbage time. David Njoku didn't do shit. He got hurt. I mean, Amari Cooper had, I think, 2 targets. I don't know what was going on in this game with the Browns. Jerry Jeudy had a touchdown. I think the Browns
are devastated about Njoku.
Njoku, yeah, it hurts.
He looked good. He was only positive thing to take away from that game. He looked good. But him and Ferguson both gone. So I think Shoemaker.
They said today that Ferguson may play week 2. He's not ruled out yet. Yeah, they dropped that.
Well, I saw MCL sprain 4 to 6 weeks, but if he's good to play, then he's good to play. But I think he's going to see.
I think I'll sit 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think Luke Shoemaker is the next waiver wire pickup at the tight end position, and nobody's going to pick him up.
I was thinking about him, but man,
I like him, man. I like him. He was one of my favorite tight ends last year, and I had him 3rd behind Sam Laporta, Tucker Kraft, and Michael Mayer. I had him 4th
in that draft class.
Yeah, in that draft class.
A question from AD says, full PPR, would you trade Amon-Ra and Keon Coleman for Rashad White and Michael Pittman?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But if you need a running back and you're hurting, then you got to think about it differently, But that's Amon-Ra. No, I'm not. That's tough.
No, Keon Coleman also. I would straight up. Let me ask you a question. Do you think I would personally trade away Keon Coleman for Michael Pittman, based on how high I am on Keon Coleman?
After how Anthony Richardson looked passing the ball to Pittman, I think Pittman's value shot.
Yeah.
I think Keon Coleman's just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, even Jonathan Taylor surprised me. I thought he would see a lot more work.
It's a tough front, man. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be fine, but the under call there was fucking spectacular.
Right. I mean, that throw from the back foot, though, that still gives me nightmares for Anthony Richardson. How did he fucking throw that off his back foot? 60 yards on the dot. Hail Mary. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He's not human. Sell you on Keon Coleman? Well, I mean, first game of the year, he had a plus matchup against the Cardinals. I mean, I don't expect him to go crazy, but I didn't expect him to see that much volume either. I didn't think he'd see 5 targets. I thought Kincaid would see a lot more. Kincaid, they focused on the whole time. They took him away. And Keon Coleman is going to see volume every game. When you have Josh Allen.
I like what James and 2 fat guys both just said. I agree with that sentiment, and that's what we've been saying all offseason.
Yep, he led the wide receiver room with routes, targets, and catches, and he's their red zone threat for the wide receiver.
Yeah, he's
Even
a big
though
body.
Shakir caught the bomb, I'm not in on
Dude,
Shakir.
it's crazy. If you put a video of him and Stephon Diggs getting a pass to the end zone and them boxing out a defensive back, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. They're the
Same
same
look.
time. And Coleman will be the next Diggs. I 100% agree. And I love the way Diggs played this week. I really did like that.
I didn't expect him to get 2 teeters. That was.
I did. I
Ugh.
liked it a lot.
But I mean, if I think about it, and I'm not saying that he's better than Michael Pittman, but fuck, the volume look going forward might favor Keon Coleman over Michael Pittman, which is crazy. And you got Downs coming back.
It's just week one.
I know,
Michael Pittman still has upside, but like I don't know how high it is. He was better with Minshew, but Devontae Adams isn't doing well with Minshew. Make it make sense.
Dude, the Raiders, man, they just fell apart. With James in the building, what's good, brother? How we doing? Coleman next Diggs. He says Brandon Cook 7 targets. Dude, Brandon Target's got a beautiful ball from Dak Prescott on that blitz, bro. That was absolutely nasty.
But buddy, I will say that's one where
Johnny.
I was so wrong. I was so fucking wrong about Brandon Cooks. I was so wrong.
The old man still got a little juice left, man. Still got a little left.
I was completely out on him, and like I still am, but like now I'm just doing it because I'm being stubborn.
Did he? I mean, he was getting open. Any other takes from the Cowboys game? Are you favoring Zeke, Dowdle? You like anything there?
No, I still don't like it, but like they did a lot better than I thought they would, especially with Zimmer at DC. I was very wrong there.
Yeah, I thought the Cowboys would get throttled, and they absolutely showed out. I missed that by a mile.
But Jerome Ford, once again, the only fantasy relevant player there, plus David Njoku, but Njoku's not hurt, so that sucks.
I would take Garindo because Braylon Allen's not going to play unless Breece Hall gets hurt. You might have a little Jordan Mason Garindo, split there at least some points. Braylon Allen's probably not going to get much but 2 carries.
I think Braylon Allen falls into the end zone for a touchdown today.
My guy Disco likes to make crazy calls though, bro. I'll go. I don't know about that, but I'll go with it. Garindo's going to see the more volume for points if you're trying to get a close win. That's the way I look at it.
I think I'm going with Braylon Allen.
He's going Braylon. I'm going Garindo. There you go.
I think Breece gets them down into the red zone. Braylon Allen punches it in. He's just a specimen, man.
Okay, so we got 13 minutes left. You almost ready, babe? So the last game, I'll skip over the Commanders. I mean, go quick. Baker Mayfield looked phenomenal. Godwin looks like the steal of the draft.
Bucky Irvin looked great. Pick him up.
Bucky Irvin looked great. Mike Evans does Mike Evans things. Don't dog this guy. He fucking gets 2 touchdowns and 20 points every fucking week. I'm tired of talking about him.
Yeah.
I'd say JD5 looked bad passing. He looked, and McLaurin was an afterthought, bro, and they were down.
De'Ami Brown, Luke McCaffrey, Ben Sinnott. The only guy who was relevant was Zach Ertz, and he wasn't very relevant.
It was terrible to watch. So I'm not really thrilled about Caleb or Jaden after week 1. But I want to get to this game. Lions, Rams. I was impressed all the way with the Rams staying in this game with all the injuries and problems they had. Yeah. I was blown away. But McVay is a genius.
Masterclass in coaching.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, league winner. We called this all the way from the beginning of the season.
We sure did.
I was losing by 15. Now my chances of winning have flipped from 60 to 9. That's rough. I can't believe CMC got ruled out and there was nothing, bro. Don't be embarrassed by your questions. We're here to help. Got you. Do you like Rodgers over 2 yards rushing? Oh,
yes.
Is the old man gonna pop one loose at the Achilles?
Two QB sneaks. Yes.
So what? Okay. What if he takes a knee? He loses a yard, right?
Fuck, that's a good point.
Because there's no CMC.
I still like it. I think he's a wild card. I still like it. I don't think there's ever been a game where he's gone under 3 yards rushing. So I still. If
we had to build a ticket, okay, let me see. Is it on Drafters?
I doubt
Tell me it is. It's not. 231 passing. 237. But I'll get to the Niner name next. I want to go over the Rams game first. Jamison Williams, I was 100% wrong about. This guy is ridiculous. If you have Laporta and Amon-Ra being worried about, Jamison Williams is going to eat every single game, and he is a flex start player every single week with how he looked. I was blown away.
I think you're overreacting, but I respect your take.
How? He saw more targets than everybody.
He did. But it's week 1. Don't overreact. I think he's going to be a fine play, but I think we saw him at his ceiling. We haven't seen him at his floor, and I think his floor is 0. So yeah, I have exposure to him in best ball. I got 26 total shares. I don't know how much exposure do you have?
Let me pull it up. Jameson Williams. I don't have a lot. I already know. I have 12 shares at 5%. That's not good.
Yeah, I got 9 in the million three. So, and let's
Yeah,
see.
it's terrible, right? I don't have any.
Let's see
But
how
man,
many.
he could be an X factor, bro. He looks so fast, dude. It was unbelievable.
Let's see how many lineups I have with him.
Phonesy wants to run over some picks. I'm down with that, chat. Make sure it's drafters though. I'm only picking on drafters this year. Okay. The ones I like, and these would be, and this is a tough game to pick, by the way. I'm not a fan of this game. I liked Brees at 26.5 over receiving. Jordan Mason is now at 58.5 rushing, 13 rushing attempts, 12 receiving yards.
That's beautiful.
I like Debo over 76.5 rush and receiving now. The CMC is out, and you're gonna have Ayuk probably getting sauce because he'll line up on the left. You got any comments here, Disco, on this?
Yeah, I like Tyler Conklin under his receiving yards because Fred Warner locks up the tight end position. Tight ends don't eat around him. I like Mike Williams over 15.5 longest reception yards because he has one trick and one trick alone. I like the receiving yards for Brees Hall. And I mean, I took the over 11.5 rushing yards for Jordan Mason, but I'm definitely taking the under 58.5 rushing yards.
Card of that. Unfortunately, Tyler Conklin's receiving yards are no longer there. Okay.
Drafters is listening to us because like this guy's hitting at such a high rate.
His rushing yards went up to 60 for Jordan Mason now. I'm taking that.
Smash the under.
Brees over 28. What did you say? Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. Yeah. Longest reception. He has one trick.
I'm with it.
Tyler Conklin under is tough, but I'm taking it. I'm riding with it. I don't like. I'm sticking to my guns. I think the one we're going to sweat the most right now is the Brees Hall receiving yards.
No, I think that's a lock without CMC.
I think CMC makes no. Why do they always change it?
Dude, they just locked me out again.
Same here.
Right, hang on. I'm going
Brees
Brees
they just
over.
don't want my money, so I'm not going to give them my money.
Okay, I'm going
over.
Oh, they're changing everything now. Last second. Under.
Receiving yards might be an over, but I'm not
I think Kittle goes over 43. They eat across the middle.
Kittle?
Yep, I think that's a lock without CMC.
I don't think it's a lock.
So you got the two best corners. They struggle versus the tight end, and CMC out. I think Kittle's going to absolutely
elaborate by struggle against the tight end. What's the tight end position average against that position?
Last year. Here you go. Because I know they're like Miami star-studded corners.
Their safeties are not slouches either. I need Kittle in a lot of lineups. I have a lot of exposure to him, right? Him and Brees Hall, I have a lot of them. I don't have a lot of CMC, so I'm not really sweating my lineups with CMC in it. Debo, I got a little bit of Ayuk, a lot of Purdy. Kittle and Brees Hall, though, those are the two. Like, I also don't have a lot of Garrett Wilson. So it's just Debo, Kittle, and
they were 16th versus the tight end last year, so middle of the pack.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's tough. Kittle eats when the run game is efficient. If the run game is non-existent, Kittle is now being focused on and honed in on. Braylon Allen over 11.5 rush yards. Run defense is San Francisco's weakness, is it?
I don't know about that one, bro.
I mean, with Eric Armstead being in Jacksonville and them improving their rushing defense significantly, it makes a lot of sense. But it's tough to project. I would much rather take Braylon Allen anytime touchdown over 11.5 rushing yards. And like, I'm sure at the end of the game, I'm going to wish I would have taken this bet. I'm just not touching it. It's one of those ones I can't project. But I can project that they get into the red zone, and I can project that Brees Hall is going to be gassed, and Braylon Allen's just going to come fucking hit somebody in the face and score a touchdown. I love
it. I'll rock with you on the Braylon Allen over. I'll rock with you on that. I'll go on the. I'm gonna go just a 3 card here. just like this. I'm going a 3-card for 20. Tyler Conklin under, Braylon Allen over, Jordan Mason under rushing. I like that.
Okay.
I'm not a Dobbins all day, Dalton. Shouldn't even be a question. Dobbins should be a startable play next week against Carolina as a running back 2. That's crazy to say, right? That's my lock is Brees Hall over James. I love that one as well.
Yeah, my lock is no longer available.
Your lock is no longer available.
The 11.5 rushing yard for Jordan Mason. I smashed that before the news, and I smashed it again the moment the news broke.
Yeah, I got 2 of them. That's it. But I think they're going to cancel my card because I panicked. I did it so fast. I had CMC on it. I went under. They probably cut out CMC, huh?
I mean, like I have CMC over 100 because I tailed what's his face, his bandit. He said his lock is CMC over 110.5 rushing plus receiving.
I wouldn't have taken that.
Huh?
I wouldn't have taken that. They were going to limit CMC. I already knew they were going to not
for sure.
that
But like
heavy.
I tailed it for $5 because like bandit tailed me, so I figured I'd tail him.
Oh, some love.
Yeah, I tried it.
Dude,
like,
so I'm going to rank. Are you ready for this, chat? I'm going to rank J.K. Dobbins in my top 15 running backs next week versus Carolina. Did you see what the Saints just did to them, bro? Jamal Williams was balling.
Yeah, 34 total fantasy points. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
I mean, unbelievable.
Hey guys, what are your thoughts on buying low on Olave in London? Do it.
Yep, 100%.
Do it. Absolutely do it. Dobbins or McLaughlin? Easily Dobbins. Like it's not even close. Don't look at the Denver running backs.
Yeah, what's up, ASD? I buy low 100%. Ayuk under? Yeah, I took the Ayuk under as well on a couple cards.
I'm not touching that. He could do that one play.
The holdout, I don't like it.
I'm not touching that.
I got like 2 minutes, guys. You got any questions? Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the new subs. Thanks for the likes. Heading to the mom's house here for some dinner and watch the game with the fam here in about like 4 minutes. So if you got any questions, fire them away now. Dude, I like Debo. I like all of Debo now, James. I like the over receiving combined. I like the rushing. I just traded away Worthy and Schultz for London. No, I like that all the way. Worthy's boomer bust. Schultz is touchdown dependent. London is going to be a target hog. It's one game. Pittsburgh defense is very good. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, if they're willing to trade a second-round pick for a round 10 and a fucking waiver wire player, you're winning, bro.
It seems like a very common trade where Worthy and London are being swapped.
Yeah, I'd take London all day.
I've seen it several times. I would personally take London as well, but I think there's merit to wanting to buy out Xavier Worthy because maybe we haven't seen him at a ceiling. We only saw 2-3 targets, 1 rushing attempt.
Is Hollywood Brown going to be back week 2?
I don't think Hollywood Brown's a threat to what this guy can potentially do. I think he just gives him more free reign.
Yeah, I think Mahomes is going to go nuts. I think that week 1 was a bloodbath game.
Yeah.
I like Jawan Jennings. I thought about that one. It was at 19.5. It's at 20 now.
That's a lot of passing yards. If you like all that, then you might like the Brock Purdy over, and I don't.
I think Brock Purdy's going to have to go over now.
I think game script is going to be completely different. I still think Jordan Mason, Garando, those guys are going to get their runs in, and they're going to try to control the clock, which is going to be tough. I think like Quentin Williams strip sack is a very possibility. This is an ugly game, man. I hate betting on it. I rather on like the one and done plays. You know, the one reception for Mike Williams, the one.
What about Jawan Jennings for 13 and a half?
13 and a half, what, longest?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's tough to project that one.
Nah. All right, I'll leave it alone.
It's a tough game. I literally took 2 props.
Brown is out now. Carolina defense is done, dude. Carolina's done. I was so wrong. I thought Dave Canales would make this team look better. Maybe just legit Bryce Young just fucking sucks. Maybe you have weapons, bro. They're out there. You couldn't even move the ball in garbage time, dude. I was blown away at how bad they looked.
After this next matchup for Carolina, things are going to look up offensively.
I would hope so.
New Orleans defense.
It can't get any worse.
New Orleans defense is going to be a top 5 defense all year, man. They're going to be doing that to every team.
They're a very good defense. I stayed away. I benched Chuba Hubbard for Greg Dortch, bro.
Good call.
Kittle for I think Kittle smashes James. Disco does not. I think he does. Jets were very weak versus tight end. I know. That's what I
It's
said.
not that I don't think he can do it. I think it's in the realm of possibilities. Am I willing to bet on it? No.
See my tweet on Bryce Young? I missed it. Shoot me it. But that's it, guys. 4:30. I gotta head to dinner. Disco, thanks for hanging out. Make sure if you guys don't in chat, smash Disco. I dropped his link in the description and I dropped Michael Ripes in there. So go follow their YouTubes. I probably won't be live tomorrow. I'm gonna crank out as many videos as I can. Are you gonna do anything tomorrow?
Yeah.
You doing some drafts or what? 4 o'clock?
No, I'm just doing a preview show.
Okay. Disco will be live. What time?
Like 7.
Okay, so 4 p.m. Big Draft Energy will be live. I'll be in there as well. I'll probably be cranking out as much content as I can tomorrow. But I'll catch you guys. Bang, bang, Niner gang. We're still going to win without CMC. I'm out, guys.
Peace.
Peace.